Excellent. Right. Okay. So this is the droplet session. So this is a taster session for the Water, Women and Wisdom workshop that is coming up. So I'm gonna run through kind of what the program actually covers, and you can ask me questions, and I'll show you some exercises that we're going to do that will hopefully make more sense how all this works. So here's our little third party for the day, little jug of water. Nothing special. This is actually just tap water. And we're going to be working on the day, we're going to be working with two different types of water. So we're going to be working with tap water and also spring water. And we're going to be looking at the differences in the energy fields between the two and how comparable they are and how we can raise the energy of tap water or the water in your body or the water into your ground. And how that healing of that water itself enables our body to heal, and how healing our body enables the water under the ground to stop having to take the stuff away from us that it is inclined to carry. So it's this cyclical process of mutual healing and removal of negative energy that we exist in with water, because it's the emotional carrier of energy, of information, of all sorts of things. So water itself is an incredibly mysterious substance. Now, I know that when we're taught in school, we're taught that it is H2O. You know, did you have to draw the Mickey Mouse sign of, you know, the 2 hydrogen to 1 oxygen? And we're all taught that is what water is. That's water. Actually, that couldn't be farther from the truth, because water has many, many states. And if you look at what water does, it has so many anomalies in how it structures that what we think we know about water is actually all wrong. You know, water has shaped our planet. It is one of the most powerful solvents in its ability to dissolve everything that it comes into contact with on the planet. So when we look at how water shapes our physical environment in terms of landscape and mountains, it's because of its nature that we have the planet that we do. So for instance, you know, water has 3 states, doesn't it? We've got gas, we've got liquid, and we've got a solid. Now, most solids, when they go from a liquid, I'll just go through a little bit of science for you. Most solids, when they come from a liquid, are more dense than the liquid, and they would sink to the bottom and the liquid would go on the top. But what does ice do? It floats on the top. So the solid state of water is lighter and less dense than the liquid. Now that is incredibly important when it comes to shaping our planet, because if ice was heavier than water, the pole caps wouldn't look the way they do. The bottom of the ocean would freeze up. That would block up all the major rivers and we would have no precipitation process. So we wouldn't have this cycle of evaporation and replenishment that we have of water. So water embodies being in opposite energy to its states, if you like. So when it is at its most dense, energetically, it is at its lightest. So it really works, and it actually works in contrary to most of the laws of physics in that respect. You know, it should be different than it is. It has such a high surface tension. You know, when you overfill a glass of water and it bubbles over the top before it collapses, you know, that it shouldn't have, against all the laws of physics, it should not have that surface tension. It just shouldn't be, it should not be possible. And yet it is, because of the way water changes itself. So water is all about sort of flow and resistance and making the best use of things. It is also, as I say, we're taught up to think that it's just H2O. It is one of the most powerful solvents in there. So when you analyze any water, and I used to work for water companies and analyze water, all sorts of things, there is so much in a glass of water in terms of minerals and gases. And, you know, when it's been through cleaning process, there's pharmaceuticals, there's hormones, there's agrochemicals, there is everything known to man in a glass of tap water, actually, because municipal water systems, there's leaks everywhere. So where water leaks out, everything seeps in. So the quality of your water, for instance, if you do drink tap water, the quality rating that it is just as it left the plant. That won't be as it arrives at your tap. Your tap rating will be very, very different. So what a lot of people do is they buy spring water or bottled spring water and all that lovely stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of that can have been in a bottle for up to 2 years before you're even drinking it. And because of the nature of water being such a solvent, it'll actually, the plastic will have leached into that water. So most of the water we consume, unless you're lucky enough to have a spring in your garden or your own borehole, most of the water that we consume is not in what I would call a happy state. So what we're going to be looking at is identifying the state of the water that you consume. And we're going to be using dowsing, which you're familiar with. We're going to be looking at the quality of the energy fields. We're going to be looking at its vitality. And within that, we're going to extend that to look at how water feels under the ground where you live when it has these kind of pollutants and interferences with it. Because water is an incredibly, as I said, anomalous substance in that it has all these different capacities, and it has these, I would describe it as conscious, like everything. I mean, everything is conscious. There is no state of anything that is unconscious. The universe is consciousness. So we're going to be looking at how you identify whether water in your house is stressed, if you like, as well as the water that you drink. And then we're going to be looking at how water communicates that stress to both us and itself. So the interesting thing about water, and this comes around to things like studies of homeopathy, is that what we find from studies of homeopathy is that when you're putting your essence into such a vast drop of water, most of the molecular structure of that water will have never, ever come into contact with the homeopathic remedy. So if you put chestnut drops in a huge vase of water, most of those water molecules will have never, ever come into contact with your chestnut drop. Yet, all the water molecules in it carry the information of that chestnut drop. So what water molecules are able to do is communicate information between themselves within a body of water. They're able to look at an energetic blueprint of something and transmit it within that body. But what was more fascinating when we studied homeopathy was that if you treated a tray of water with chestnut drops, I thought, that's amazing. It's never come into contact with chestnut, but all this water knows about chestnut. But if you put it next to another tray of water, by the morning, that tray over there is carrying the same information, even though the bodies of water never came into contact. So water is able to transmit information across distances to other bodies of water. So the water in your body and the water under the ground where you live are actually in a constant state of communication. So when the water under the ground where you live is stressed, the water in your body becomes stressed. When you are stressed because of life and everything that's going on, you stress the water in your body, that is impacted and sent down into the water into your ground. So your environment can stress you and you can stress your environment. And this is this interaction that we consistently have with water, that we are 99% water, and yet it has its own consciousness, its own memories, its own information. And it's by this mechanism that the body carries round the information of water, carries around the body the information for the substances that the body needs. So when we want a vitamin or a mineral and we eat it, it's actually most of our body never comes into contact, but it's the information, the energetic information of that substance that water is able to carry around the body to use as a healing mechanism for regeneration and regrowth. But the cell itself that's being repaired may never ever come into contact with that vitamin or mineral that's supposed to repair it. So water just does it through energetic information. It carries the information as energy around the body. And this is kind of like where we go with the work of Dr. Emoto about water having memory, you know, and have feelings imprinting onto water. But it carries so much more information than that. you know, and that's why in essence it is considered to be conscious, because we can imprint upon it what we want, and we can ask it to carry this information around our body or into the ground. We can ask it to carry information to a body of water within our area that we know is stressing us. So you can heal any water, anywhere, any when, because it's also beyond time. But we're not going to go into time today because that's a property of heat. And we're not going to cover that in the course, actually, because strangely enough, one of the studies that's come out of quantum gravity, the study of quantum gravity, is the fact that there is no time without heat. If we didn't have the sun, we wouldn't experience time. So it's really, really interesting. So, well, we're not going to go into that now. You can tell I love reading quantum physics. So what you can do, we're going to be working with water tomorrow. We're going to be using this water to gauge the energetic quality of the water in the jar. We're also going to ask it to give you a representation of the energetic quality of the water in your body and the water in your area, in your geographical area, so that you could use this water here to heal that water, to heal the water in your body, and to heal the water in the ground where you live. And it can carry that healing information across as a wider area as it needs to carry, or you wish to carry it. So that's kind of where we're going to be doing, and we're going to be talking about, you know, how flow and resistance and all those kind of things are wrapped up in our states of being, that water embodies, you know, when we should learn to release and go like a rapid, when we need to relax and be calm like a lily pond or a gentle stream. The it states are actually great mirrors of the emotional states of women. So, you know, how we will, you know, bury our vulnerable emotions down and put on a hard surface, you know, which is why they're like ice floating on the top of water. It's, you know, when water freezes, it freezes from the outside in. So it's still liquid in the middle, but frozen on the outside of each molecular water. So we're going to be using a lot of dowsing, and I'm going to be teaching techniques on how to alter the molecular structure of water, because it is not H2O, it are lots of other things in it, but water becomes many different states. And one of the ones we're going to be looking at is getting this water to change from H2O to H3O2, which is a completely different molecular structure. And when we change the molecular structure of water, it becomes what is called an exclusion zone. And when we drink that water, you can exclude anything from your energy field or from your body that you wish to exclude, and it becomes a real detox for anything that you imprint into that water. So you can imprint that water then with love or health and well-being or vitality or wealth and abundance, whatever you want to imprint in it. That image is carried in that water, and it excludes everything else from the body or your energy field bar that image that you have given it to communicate. So it's water is a really, really powerful tool, which is why so many shamans and ancient cultures revere water, because they realized, you know, just how bloody powerful it really is. And we have not got any level of understanding of water yet. There's the research going on to water. There are different states of water. There's hydrogen water. There's all sorts of different states of water that we're only now just beginning to discover. But working with water in this quite simple way, and there's some very simple practical techniques to get this water that you physically do to change it from H2O to H3O2, that mean that this water then becomes 100% vital, 100% hydrating, 100% healing, 100% information carrier, and 100% excluding all the stuff that you don't want in there. So even if it's got toxins in there, they're not absorbed in the body. Even if you've got, you know, negative emotions stored in there, they're not absorbed in your body, and neither are absorbed in the ground. So that's actually what we're going to be doing. It's not the full, I can't go into massive amounts of detail in that sort of short amount of time, but that is in essence what we're going to be doing. So does that got any questions on what we're going to be covering?
Kind of straightforward, Faye. Let's crack on.
So yeah, it's not, if you can dowse, it's going to be easier. For those people who can't dowse, we will be using like muscle testing and things like that, but you can dowse, so you're okay. And it doesn't have to be anything particular. You know, like you say, you can use enough on a piece of cotton. Which end the nut is, of course, is debatable. Yes. But we will be using dowsing. We will be using set techniques to reprogram this water, so that then you'll have a toolkit to be able to utilize water wherever you are, no matter where you're feeling, so that it feels good, and you can communicate your intentions to it, and it can then carry those intentions out. And then you will be able to know, is this water feeling good? No, so I can heal this water, and then this water can help me. So that's, yeah. So I think, I'm really excited. I love working with water. It's one of the most amazing substances that actually is. It fascinates me. I can spend hours working with water. So yeah. So are you? I'm not gonna say you up for it, because it sounds like I'm gonna make you come. But is that something that you find? Twist me on. Is that something that sounds appealing, I suppose? Or have you got any questions on that? Because I can't, Well,
No, that's fine.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So yeah, it's lots. There's going to be lots of practical exercises, lots of testing around your own home, lots of testing the water when you drink it, lots of energy testing of your vitality field and the vitality of water. It's going to be, so there's this is what you're going to do, now we're going to do it. And this is what you're going to do, now we're going to do it. And at each stage you'll be able to measure the changes in the water and yourself as you go, so that you'll have a better understanding and yeah, and it is practice. We can with the best will in the world. I mean, intention is great, but water has these states of solid, liquid and gas for a reason. And it's a bridge. Water's a bridge actually between the physical and the esoteric and the etheric, because it operates within that whole spectrum. So it physically shapes our environment, but it also represents our mental and emotional health and our care of ourselves and our care of the planet. And we see this in the melting of the ice caps and terrible floods that we've recently had, and all sorts of things, that water is generally in a distressed state, as is quite a large proportion of the human race in modern society. So it's about getting back to that connection to the natural world and realizing that all these things are conscious, and they're not there as a resource simply for us to plunder. They're there as cooperative consciousnesses from the planet that we need to learn to work differently with, for our own benefit and for their benefit. So yeah. And I've already said, have you got any questions? But I'm sure you'll probably have some, and your silent partner might have someone who's sat next door to you listening.
No, he's just smiling.
You got questions, Suzanne?
Hi, Faye.
Hello.
No, hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Thank you. No, what you're saying is so well explained. I know part of it is repeating or going on from what we've discussed before in Abundance Energy Academy, which was great. But for me, it reaffirms it, it re-emphasizes it, and it's really useful. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to be doing different stuff than you do in the Abundance Energy Academy.
Well,
this is more,
that's even better.
Yeah, this is going to be sort of changing the molecular structure of water, so that it has a different energy imprint, and it's able to do different things for you as a cooperative partner, rather than just looking at energy under your house as stressed and healing it. This is working in a very much more detailed way. But obviously, as I say, it's in the 3 hours. I can't possibly deliver it in absolute minute detail, but it will be to start practicing with water in a different way within your own home and within your own life.
Does that mean I don't have to build a power tower?
No, you will still need to build that in your house. Yeah.
Sorry. No, I mean I'm accustomed to using Reiki on water sometimes.
Yeah.
So that makes absolute sense to me. Thank you.
Yeah, you can use Reiki, you can use symbols, you can put it at the center of a labyrinth. There are all sorts of ways of changing water. And it's very compliant. You know, it wants to work with us. It really does. As soon as you start, like when we're on the course, you know, one of the first things I actually get people to do is sort of like introduce themselves to their water and read what happens in the energy. You know, when it realizes we're coming in with this intention to understand it and explore it, the energy changes that you measure off it are phenomenal. It is talking to you, and it wants to communicate, and it wants to be in this loving relationship with you. It doesn't want to be flushed down the loo and chucked away and get full of soap. And, you know, that's no way to treat water, you know. So, you know, I know we've got to use what we've got to use, but you can at least be more thoughtful and compassionate about it and do your bit to minimize that impact, so that even when you're having a shower in the morning, you're very conscious that, you know, if you bless the water, it has a much better ride than through the, you know, the water process and sewage process and everything else and cleaning process it's got to go through.
Well, that is, thank you. That's great. Thank you very much, Faye. I look forward to it.
Good.
I might have to do part of it on replay, because as I said, I'm double booked, but I'll see what I can do. Yeah.
Are you double booked for Wednesday then for the actual course?
Yes, the early part, yes.
Okay, that's fine. So long as I know. Yeah, we'll be able to.
Yeah, but it's a matter of how long I stay at something which is a morning thing and then goes on over lunch.
Yeah, okay.
There's only socialising over lunch, which I need to do anyway because I haven't met half the people, but I'll see what I can do. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Look forward to it. Thanks.
Okay.
Cheers.
Right. Sian, have you got any more questions?
No, that's fine. Everything makes sense.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I hope you'll feel able to join us, but obviously that's your decision. So you know, but it's giving you a better insight into what's going to be covered, how we can use this water to, like I said, unlock and heal emotional stuff within us and all sorts of energies that we could be holding that we know are blocking us, but we can't quite articulate or identify what we are. We actually don't need to, because we just need to feed the feeling of what we are and ask and program the water to remove that horrible feeling that we have. We don't necessarily, I mean, it works in conjunction with doing the inner work, because you have to do the work to face your demons, but it just helps shift things. It's just like having that really nice nurturing person that's giving you a big hug and going, do you know what, let me help you, help you unburden yourself, and it's able to do that for us.
Right. Okay,
right, unless there's any more questions. I did allow more time, but you know, if we're covered, and if you're happy with what's covered, then that's great.
No, okay, thanks, Faye.
Okay, well, if you do want to join, obviously you know how to join if you want to, and then you can do so. Okay, all right then. We'll call it a quits there, because it must be time for another cup of tea. And yeah, if I don't see you next Wednesday, I will see you, Suzanne. But you know, I hope you join. Consider joining us, Sian.
All right, thanks, Faye. Take care.
Okay. All right, bye.